Greetings, mortals, and welcome to another episode of Zophar's Realm. It is Monday evening, 10:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are going to be playing more Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, which is beginning to become a bit of a Monday, or specifically Moonlight Monday, tradition here on the Realm. So here we go. Sherlock Holmes, Sega CD, 1992. There's the disc. We're playing on the Mr. Oh crap! I just lost the disc. Oh, there we go. We are playing on the Mr. So I can preserve the disky disc. And here, according to the manual, is the story of the Tin Soldier, which is what we'll be playing tonight. But before I read that, let's say hi to everybody first. Fat Def, how are you? For 8-Bit Gamers, hello. Balinor, how you doing? Leper, always great to see you. Welcome to Zamcom. This is Zamcom. Songbirder could do a whole thesis on Zomcom, I'm certain. Songbirder reminded me about it. I had completely forgotten that Zomcom was a thing until Songbirder reminded me. SGBU, I hope you are well. Radiant Lights, how are you? Rev Brown, anything is possible at Zomcom. And that being said, The Tin Soldier, June 10th, 1890. An initiate of high society, an officer, a collector of treasures Sanpareil. He had traveled many pathways throughout his lifetime, but this time he crossed the wrong one. Indeed, Video Game Addict, the beginning of FMV games. Quite epic. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Balinor has reached a 5-stream streak. Your support of the realm and the domain is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Balinor, for the streak. We got to go find a some kind of alert to match the streak. Does anyone know if Twitch alerts works with the stream streaks yet? Let's see. I want to go find out. Where would I go? Alerts, right? And then edit alert box. And we have, let's see, subscriptions, gifted subs, cheers, raids, charity, hype trains, channel points. I wonder what that looks like. And goals. It does not appear that stream streaks are on here yet. They need to be, though. Why are they not on here yet? I think they need to be. All right, well, at least now we know. We'll have to put a pin in that one. A good little suggestion for the Twitchy Twitch. Hope you're doing well, Balinor. Doodly do indeed. All right. I have my humidifier or dehumidifier off so that I can hear the sound of the game. As you know, if you've seen this before, of me streaming any Sega CD games, the volume is very low to me. I have it pumped up in OBS, so the volume should be good for all of you, but it's really hard for me to hear, so I just ask if there's any FMV scenes, just try your best to limit the epic sound effects. Unless, of course, you're Soda Pagoda, and then have at it, but everybody else. Because Soda's, you know, Soda's a good dude. You're all good dudes, but Soda's a really good dude.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again.
Soda's a different kind
Aziz Light!
Elementary, my dear Zophar. I'm trying to summon Soda Pagoda if Soda's around, but I don't think Soda's around. All right, here we go. The Tin Soldier. Let's go.
May we be of some assistance, Inspector Smythe?
General Farnsworth Armstead, one of the 6 surviving Waterloo Tontine ticket holders, has been murdered.
Waterloo Tontine?
The Waterloo Tontine was a lottery of sorts, Watson. It was set up in 1815 to aid the veterans of the Battle of Waterloo. Wellington's victory over Napoleon.
Yes, of course, I knew that.
Quite an ingenious plan on the part of the founders. £1 bought a ticket in the name of some young relative. The ticket proceeds amounted to over £1 million. Half went immediately to veterans and their families for medical and hardship expenses.
What became of the other half?
It all went into an account at the Bank of England, where it's been collecting interest all these years.
Very clever. And how does one win this prize?
Simply by outliving all the other ticket holders.
And now you say one of them has been murdered. Very suspicious. Who are the remaining 5?
The oldest is Captain Robert Jurgens, age 82. Then there are Anita and Claire Thomas, who are 80-year-old twins. William Rowland is 79, and Peter Dudley is 77. Poor General Armstead was the youngest at 74.
Seems as if he would have had the best chance to outlive the others.
I recall reading something in the Times about a big to-do involving the Tontine survivors on the 18th.
That's correct. The Waterloo anniversary banquet at the Langham Hotel.
Why is the name Armstead familiar?
He was a noted art collector, I believe. He also authored a well-known book, Treasures of the Conquerors.
Quite right. At the time of his death, General Armstead was working on a revised edition for his publisher, Norgate and Company. It was to contain an entirely new chapter on a fabulous diamond called the Polar Star, which at one point belonged to Joseph Bonaparte, Napoleon's brother. The general had new information which traced the gem to its present owner.
Tell me about the circumstances of General Armstead's death.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, let me see. At 10 o'clock this morning, the general's valet, David Sennett, admitted a caller to the general's study. Sennett says he did not know the man. He was elderly and spoke with a French accent. Sennett told him the general never saw anyone in the morning while he
Secure all positions. Here we go. Full ahead. Next stop, Zophar's domain.
He told Sennett that the Chinese, sensing something amiss, Sennett dawdled in the area of the study for the next 15 minutes or so. Then he heard the distinct sound of swordplay. He tried to enter the study, but found the door locked. Then he heard the crash of breaking glass. He raced to the kitchen and out the back door to enter the study from the garden. By the time he got there, the caller had vanished, and the general was leaning heavily against a shattered display case of military miniatures. Before Sennett could assist him, he dropped a saber from his hand and fell over dead.
And I take it the letter, which so upset the general, was nowhere to be found.
Correct, Mr. Holmes.
Well, we shall put our brains and our feet to the task.
Okay, first of all, Ramacron, thank you so much for the follow and for joining the Rum in the Domain. Your support is greatly appreciated. And Reg, a 5-stream streak. How's this study in Scarlet? How indeed. All right, we're going to go and watch it again because I missed some of the important information. And honestly, we would replay it again anyway because he was going really fast with all the surviving people that I don't think I got all the names right and the ages. So let's go one more time. And I'm going to try to catch some of this. And chat, if you see me entering wrong info, let me know. Down here.
General Farnsworth Armstead, one of the 6 surviving Waterloo Tontine ticket holders, has been murdered.
Waterloo Tontine?
The Waterloo Tontine was a lottery of sorts, Watson. It was set up in 1815 to aid the veterans of the Battle of Waterloo. Wellington's victory over Napoleon.
Yes, of course. I knew that.
Quite an ingenious plan on the part of the founders. £1 bought a ticket in the name of some young relative. The ticket proceeds amounted to over £1 million. Half went immediately to veterans and their families for medical and hardship expenses.
What became of the other half?
It all went into an account at the Bank of England, where it's been collecting interest all these years.
Very clever. And how does one win this prize?
Simply by outliving all the other ticket holders.
And now you say one of them has been murdered. Very suspicious. Who are the remaining 5?
The oldest is Captain Robert Jurgens, age 82. Then there are Anita and Claire Thomas, who are 80-year-old twins. William Rowland is 79, and Peter Dudley is 77. Poor General Armstead was the youngest at 74.
Seemed as if he would have had the best chance to outlive the others.
I recall reading something in the Times about a big to-do involving the Tontine survivors on the 18th.
That's correct. The Waterloo anniversary banquet at the Langham Hotel.
Why is the name Armstead familiar?
He was a noted art collector, I believe. He also authored a well-known book, Treasures of the Conquerors.
Quite right. At the time of his death, General Armstead was working on a revised edition for his publisher, Norgate and Company. It was to contain an entirely new chapter on a fabulous diamond called the Polar Star, which at one point belonged to Joseph Bonaparte, Napoleon's brother. The general had new information which traced the gem to its present owner.
Tell me about the circumstances of General Armstead's death.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, let me see. At 10 o'clock this morning, the general's valet, David Sennett, admitted a call to the general's study. Sennett says he did not know the man. He was elderly and spoke with a French accent. Sennett told him the general never saw anyone in the morning while he was at work. The gentleman insisted that if Armstead read the letter he had with him, he would make an exception. And so it was. Sennett took the letter in, Armstead read it, and went quite pale. He told Sennett to let the gentleman in. Sensing something amiss, Sennett dawdled in the area of the study for the next 15 minutes or so. Then he heard the distinct sound of swordplay. He tried to enter the study, but found the door locked. Then he heard the crash of breaking glass. He raced to the kitchen and out the back door to enter the study from the garden. By the time he got there, the caller had vanished, and the general was leaning heavily against a shattered display case of military miniatures. Before Sennett could assist him, he dropped a saber from his hand and fell over dead.
And I take it the letter, which so upset the general, was nowhere to be found.
Correct, Mr. Holmes.
Well, we shall put our brains and our feet to the task.
Okay, there's a ton of information in there. That's probably the most information of any of the three cases at the beginning, and I feel like we might have still missed stuff. So let's unpack all of this. But firstly, Balinor says there's a lot of good reasons why tontines are not legal. Is that what this is called? A tontine, which is the lottery. Let's see, what's a tontine? What is a tontine? Tontines are annuities shared by subscribers to a loan or common fund, the shares increasing as subscribers die until the last survivor enjoys the whole income. Life insurance plan which the beneficiaries are those who survive and maintain a policy to the end of a given period. And its origin is from a Neapolitan banker who started a scheme to raise government loans in France. Why is a tontine illegal? Because many in the public were outraged at the idea that tontines allowed people to profit off of the deaths of others. Nice. Okay, I had no idea that's what that was called. So, Waterloo tontine. The tontine is literally a banned insurance practice. Got it. What's up, Soda Pagoda? I knew you would be here. How's the doo-doo? Lars Mandel, it's going well. I hope you're doing okay. What's up, G. Levy? Culinary disaster. Hello, realm. It goes okay, X10 Power, but I feel like we still missed some information, so we're going to have to unpack all this. Indeed, Balinor, it is the death lottery. Soda Pagoda says the doo-doo is good. I'm glad the doo-doo is good. Okay, here's what we have. This is the Tin Soldier. It takes place June 10th, 1890. The murder victim, General Farnsworth Armstead, age 74. One of the 6 Waterloo tontine ticket holders. We've since learned that a tontine is a really bad insurance practice that is banned mostly everywhere, which allows you to get more money from whatever annuity as people die. The more people that die, the more money you get. In this case, the person that survives gets all of the money, and there were 6 of them. You have to outlive all the other ticket holders here. It was set up in 1815 to aid the survivors of Waterloo. How does that aid the survivors of Waterloo? By giving just one of them the money. It's like the Hunger Games. Acoustic Viz, how you doing? You assume anything with mayo is a culinary disaster. It could be. Bowner says it's rather impressive to be alive that long after Waterloo. Well, this would have been, let's see, 1890, and Waterloo happened in early 1800s, right? Let's see. When was the Battle of Waterloo? 1815. So if you were 18 at the time, which would have been 1798, let's say, because then you'd, or 1797, then 1890, you'd be like 83. But this is saying that General Armstead, what did it say he was? He's 74. That would mean... Wait a minute. Why is the math not working here? They're saying he's 74. Do some quick math here, Chad. Something I don't think it matches. I think there's a continuity problem here, Chad. All right, hold on. If it's supposed to be 1890 and you subtract 74, you wind up with 1816. No, that would mean some time travel shit, Reg. There's a flux capacitor distortion in the fabric of the universe. Unless it was more like he was a descendant of a survivor of Waterloo. That doesn't make... He was enlisted before birth. What the fuck? God damn it. Why does nothing make sense anymore? Let me make sure the date's in here is right. It says 10 June 1890. I don't know. All right, well, they got that horribly wrong. Womp womp. Okay, well, suspension of disbelief. Let's pretend that the Battle of Waterloo was not 1815. Let's say it was like 1835. Then it lines up a little better, right? A little better. Immersion ruined. I say ruined. Oh no. Okay, back to the task at hand now. So the remaining surviving ticket holders were Captain Robert Juergens, age 82, Leda and Claire Thomas, age 80, William Rowland, age 79, Peter Dudley, age 77. General Armstead was working on the Solar Star Diamond book about Napoleon's brother. The general had new info. He was going to add a new chapter about the Polar Star, tracing the gem to its present owner. The book company sounded like Mergetz and Company. The book publisher was Mergetz and Company. I don't know if that's right. We're going to have to... Do we have to listen to it one more time? We might have to. At 10 a.m., the valet David Someone was called to the general's study. Visitor spoke with a French accent. Insisted if Armstead read the letter he had with him, he'd make an exception and let him in. He read it, went pale, told him to let the gentleman in. David, whoever this valet is, waited. Heard the swordplay and found the door locked. Heard the crash of breaking glass, raced to enter the study from the garden. The general was breathing heavy, had a saber in his hand, and then fell dead. Letter was nowhere to be found. Do we give it one more watch, chat? Or does anybody happen to notice what the valet's name was? We need to know the valet's name and the book publisher, if it's really Mergetz and Company and David something. If you have that information, chat, and you tell me now, we won't have to watch it again. Otherwise, I feel like I have to watch it one more time. All the better reason to do research before writing the story. Well, that's the thing. This video game was based on a board game, which is more like a book game, called Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, which is a series of books, almost like a choose-your-own-adventure type thing, and there's like little newspapers that come with it, and you have to do your research after you read the case, and then talk to different people by turning the pages of the book to different chapters and paragraphs. And then you gain more information. It was really kind of ingenious. And so they took the Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective board games and turned it into a series of video games, 2 of which came out for Sega CD. Each of them 3 cases each. So volumes 1 and 2, total of 6 cases. And then volume 3 was only released for PC. Which, if we're all enjoying Sherlock Holmes, I'm not against, playing them all. It is almost December, right? I know I said I wasn't going to do anything special for December, but maybe I lied because I'm having fun with this. Yes, Video Game Addict, you're right. Also on the TG CD. Very well. Very good. All right, we got to watch it one more time, Chad. I'm sorry. Last time, I promise. This time, we're going to play really close attention. I really need the name of the valet, and I really need the name of the publisher, all right? Here we go. Last try. Last time we're listening to this, and then we're going to play the game.
Some assistance, Inspector Smythe.
General Farnsworth Armstead, one of the 6 surviving Waterloo Tontine ticket holders, has been murdered.
Waterloo Tontine?
The Waterloo Tontine was a lottery of sorts, Watson. It was set up in 1815 to aid the veterans of the Battle of Waterloo. Wellington's victory over Napoleon.
Yes, of course. I knew that.
Quite an ingenious plan on the part of the founders. £1 bought a ticket in the name of some young relative. The ticket proceeds amounted to over £1 million. Half went immediately to veterans and their families
Relatives
for
here.
medical and hardship expenses.
What became of the other half?
It all went into an account at the Bank of England, where it's been collecting interest all these years.
Very clever. And how does one win this prize?
Simply by outliving all the other ticket holders.
And now you say one of them has been murdered. Very suspicious. Who are the remaining 5?
The oldest is Captain Robert Juergens, age 82. Then there are Anita and Claire Thomas, who are 80-year-old twins. William Rowland is 79, and Peter Dudley is 77. Poor General Armstead was the youngest at 74.
Seemed as if he would have had the best chance to outlive the others.
I recall reading something in the Times about a big to-do involving the Tontine survivors on the 18th.
That's correct. The Waterloo anniversary banquet at the Langham Hotel.
Why is the name Armstead familiar?
He was a noted art collector, I believe. He also authored a well-known book, Treasures of the Conquerors.
Quite right. At the time of his death, General Armstead was working on a revised edition for his publisher, Norgate and Company. It was
Sound like
contain
Mergatz
an
and
entirely
Company.
new chapter on a fabulous diamond called the Polar Star, which at one point belonged to Joseph Bonaparte, Napoleon's brother. The general had new information which traced the gem to its present owner.
Tell me about the circumstances of General Armstead's death.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, let me see. At 10 o'clock this morning, the general's valet, David Sennett, admitted a call to
David
the general's
what?
study.
Sense?
Sennett says he did not know the man. He was elderly and spoke with a French accent. Sennett told him the general never saw anyone in the morning while he was at work.
Senate's?
Gentleman insisted that if Armstead read the letter he had with him, he would make an exception. And so it was. Sennett took the letter in.
Sennett,
Armstead
maybe?
read it and went quite pale. He told Sennett to let the gentleman in.
Senate.
Sensing something amiss, Sennett dawdled in the area of the study for the next 15 minutes or so. Then he heard the distinct sound of swordplay. He tried to enter the study, but found the door locked. Then he heard the crash of breaking glass. He raced to the kitchen and out the back door to enter the study from the garden. By the time he got there,
And what, he had a
the door
brother named
vanished,
House?
and the general
House.
was leaning heavily against a
Roadhouse.
shattered display case
Whatever.
of military miniatures. Before Sennett could assist him, he dropped a saber from his hand and fell over dead.
I take it the letter, which so upset the general, was nowhere to be found.
Correct, Mr. Holmes.
Well, we shall put our brains and our feet to the task.
And Reg, by the way, thank you for the 5-stream streak. Your support of the Realm of the Domain is greatly appreciated. And you got your stream intro scene made for the month. Very nice. What did you make it? All right. So it sounds like David Sennett is his name. Fine. I'm still not sure about the book publisher. It sounded like Mergatz and Company. Maybe we'll get lucky and the directory will have like a book publisher section. And then that leaves us to something about an anniversary banquet at the hotel. Did you all hear that they mentioned something about an anniversary banquet? This right here. See below where all my notes are. Did you recall that, chat? Oh, excuse me. I'm tired all the time now. So I don't know what that was all about. The Waterloo anniversary banquet. Yeah, that might have been it. Waterloo anniversary banquet. All right, I don't know where that's at, but maybe we can check all the hotels. All right, so first things first. Let's go and check the news. June 10th, 1890. Here we go. Indigent Blind Visiting Society. Metropolitan Police. Here we go. 75th Waterloo Anniversary. The Times is pleased to announce a dinner on the occasion of the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Waterloo, Wednesday, June 18th, at the Langham Hotel. There we go. All right, now we're getting information. All right. At the Langham Hotel. All right, and we'll take this. Whoops. Waterloo 75th anniversary banquet at the Langham Hotel. It says the surviving participants in the Waterloo Tontine will be guests of honor. Further information is available at the Langham Hotel or the Times office. Okay, cool. Stage as a profession. Toy exhibition. Foreign and colonial news. That's just pension stuff. The United States, more warship stuff. The coal strike in Australia. The Tornai Treasury? Nah. The recreative evening school associations. Times Clarendon Press. Wait, let me go back to that. What did that say? Shakespeare, something, dark side. Wait, what did that say? Oh, okay. Princess Theater? French plays? Company Arnaud. I don't know if this is important or not. I see French, though, and I think Napoleon. I don't know. Do you think this is important? Does this mean anything? I'm going to write down, for no other reason that this is about French stuff. That could be just totally off base with this. But I'm going to write here, the Times had an article about the Princess Theater, and it mentioned French plays. Relevant? I have no idea. Allegro. Priest. I need a priest. Something about the Duke of Wellington. I don't know. Disasters at sea. Volunteers. Latest intelligence on Australia. The Jesuits in Canada. Royal betrothal. Reg says, good thing that there was no Twitter or X to post twisted and untrue. Yeah, that's true. New Guinea. Spain. The weeds. Neve's food. Wait, oh, okay. The best and cheapest farinaceous food. Mineral water. Apparent. By reason of an improved of caption by which dilution is avoided. What? What does this even mean? Persian carpet. Best Havana cigars. Improved spectacles. Sir Julius Benedict. I have tried 2 principal London opticians without success, but blah, 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 blah. Teeth. That's it. Okay. And that's everything. All right. Where do we go first?
Your return to Shore was not part of our negotiations nor our agreement, so I must do nothing.
Your Reg, thanks so much for me redeeming the piratey hat. This chair continues to be high, says I, but while 'tis true that my debauchery was me way of compensating, the rum may always be gone, and I may be the worst pirate ye ever heard of. Ye have heard of me. Sherlock asked you to give me that. Thanks for giving me that, Reg. Sometimes you just need a hat to be all right with the world. All right, we'll start with Henry Ellis. We'll send the Baker Street irregulars to him. Ellis didn't have much for us today, Governor. Everyone is Governor. Everybody is Yangus from Dragon
Ellis,
Quest VIII.
my good man, what can you tell us about the Tontine story?
Time does take its toll, doesn't it? Back in 1865, the Times sponsored a 50th anniversary banquet. I'm quite sure I wasn't out of my pram, but I understand there were 204 survivors at the time. Now there are only 6. Pardon me, 5. Now that the poor general has been skewered.
There were 204, I think he said, survivors in the 1860s. And now there are only 6, and one of them was skewered with the sword. Okay, that was not incredibly useful. But there it is. Right? There it is. Doodle-doo. Okay, we'll go to Edward Hall next. Sorry, Gov. All's in court all day. I guess because there's no suspect, we have no,
Hall's assistant says he's in court and will be there all day. Pity.
All right, not incredibly helpful, but that's fine. That's fine. Doodle doodle doo. Doodle 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 doo. Quentin Hogg. Fellow pinched the Polar Star, turned up dead in the Thames. That'll teach him. What does that even mean?
Now then,
Believe
what
I know
brings
that
you to
name
my
in connection
inner
with the Polar
sanctum?
Star Diamond.
Zophar 1 do Zophar 1 da Zophar 1 Lee Zophar 1 do Zophar 1 Gilius.
Towards the end of 87,
Sure,
somebody
thanks so much for the resub. 18 months.
for certain,
That's a
mind
year and
you,
a half of
but the word
subscriptions
on
to
the
the
street
realm
was
and the
the thief was a
domain.
Frenchie
Your
by
support
the
is
name
greatly
of
appreciated.
Andre
Enjoy the ad reviewing
Martin.
emotes and sub badges.
Had quite a
Sure, we're going to
reputation as
replay
a
this
Jew.
scene, but how are you
General
doing?
Armstead.
Let's get you
Believe
a
I
shouty
know
shout.
that name in connection with the Polar Star Diamond. Believe it was once owned by the Russian Count Rostov, some rich old duffer. Towards the end of 87, somebody pinched it.
Do you happen to know who?
Nobody knows for certain, mind you, but the word on the street was the thief was a Frenchie by the name of Andre Martin. Had quite a reputation as a jewel thief, he did, though his reputation was based mostly on rumor. Just before the Polar Star was lifted, he had been seen in St. Petersburg. A few months later, his body was found floating in the Thames.
Drowned?
No, he had been strangled. The crime was never solved, and the diamond was never found.
Wow. The murderer was never found, and the jewel was never recovered. Interesting. We're going to put a little dash in here to make it easier for me to read. So that was some useful information. So how you doing, Churd? It's been a long past few days. Well, I hope it's going all right now. I've been okay. I've been tired. Reg says, isn't Yangus a pure Brit to the core? Oh, Yangus is the man. The streetwise British person.
I am vampire.
Exactly, G. Levy. Governor. That's right, just like Yangus. Everyone is governor. Everyone is governor. All right. So, but anyways, so what we learned is that the Polar Star, which dude was writing about, General Farnsworth Armstead, the murdered dude in the Tontine ticket hole. You know what? I'm already not even talking to people. Something is a red herring here. I don't know if it's all of this talk about the jewel and the Polar Star is the red herring that probably doesn't matter, or if the fact that he's in the Waterloo Tontine doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. I feel like something doesn't matter here. I'm not sure which it is yet. Let's talk to Lestrade. Let's send the Baker Street irregulars. I want this guy's job. So what does he do all day anyway, Governor? Remember, everyone's governor. They're all governor.
Do you people have nothing better to do with your time than to interfere in police matters? Well, don't bother with this one. We have the matter under control. I've compiled a list of suspects, which you may not see. I intend to ask each one for an alibi, and the suspect unable to supply one is our killer. Quite scientific, really. Now, off with you.
Don't bother. He has a list of suspects we may not see, and he'll find the one without a motive. Or without an alibi, or whatever. What, Bestride? What is wrong with Siri? Lestrade. There we go. Better. Kai. Moving right along. What's up, Mystic the Urge? I hope you're doing well. Can we get a slash shout out for Mystic the Urge? Always a fun time at his stream. All right. We're still not figuring out what's going on here. Just chilling like a villain. I gotcha. All right. London Library. So we tried the library, Gov, but we couldn't remember how to spell the thing you was asking for. What was we asking for?
The librarian was kind enough to write down all the information. Evidently, tontine comes from the name of Lorenzo Tonti, the Neapolitan banker who introduced the system into France in the 17th century. The Battle of Waterloo took place on June 18, 1815. It is so named because it took place near the town of Waterloo in Belgium. The combined British and Prussian forces routed Napoleon's army, proved to be his final and worst defeat.
Dear Watson, whatever would I do without you?
Heaven only knows, Holmes.
Okay. We learned at the library tontine was introduced in the 17th century. It was named for Waterloo. You're about to start streaming the new World of Warcraft season on Friday. Very nice. Enjoy your time as a hippie druid bear. Chad Watson was a war doctor in Afghanistan. It's good to know. Doodle doodle doo. Doodle 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 doo. But go follow Churd and Mystic the Urge, everyone. They are great streamers. So much fun to watch. Mystic the Urge loves all kinds of stuff, including vampire type stuff. Churd likes all kinds of stuff, including arcade type stuff. Both are worth your time. All right, let's check out Sir Jasper Meek. Oh, bless me. Sheesh. Meek says it was a sword what done the general in, governor. Because everyone's governor.
Can you tell us what did him in, Sir Jasper? A sword through the heart, a smart upward thrust.
Okay. Sir Jasper said it was a sword through the heart and an upward thrust that killed Armstead. So helpful. So helpful. You're excited for Classic Plus? What does Classic Plus do? Yes, it is a big sneeze. Big sneeze. Doodle doodle doo. Doodle 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 doo. Whoops. We're going back to this. All right. Let's go to H.R. Murray so he can talk about Helms and Whitson. Old H.R. didn't find much else but blood on the tip of the sword, Governor. Okay, let's go see what he says. I want to see what he says in person.
I'm here regarding the Armstead case. I take it this is the saber he had in his hand at the time of his death?
Aye, indeed it is. A lovely thing to behold, isn't it? Unfortunately, it yielded very little evidence. The top half had traces of dust all along it, indicating it had been unused for quite some time. I did notice on the point a tiny amount of fresh blood. The general must have scratched his opponent. I'm sorry, Whitson. That's all the information to be gathered from this beautiful masterpiece. On guard!
Watson, sir. Watson.
I would not even be touching that blade, personally. You'd love to see an alternate universe where they complete all the unfinished stuff from the original vanilla World of Warcraft. Wouldn't that be cool? All right, so H.R. Murray found fresh blood. General must have scratched his opponent. And that's all we know. How about Disraeli O'Brien? Oh, my God. Sorry, chat. Disgusting. My allergies are running low. Or running wild, rather. O'Brien says he's got no dirt on the tontine ticket holders, Gov.
Sorry to disappoint you on this one, Holmes. I can't uncover a bit of incriminating information on a single one of the remaining tontine ticket holders. All of those who led eventful lives are dead as a result. It appears the survivors have outlasted the others because they have led such quiet lives.
All right, nothing helpful there. Nothing helpful there. We're going to have to talk to all these tontine ticket holders, I think. Do. All right, let's go to Langdale Pike. Can't believe Pike would see the likes of us. Says Shoemaker's the bloke to talk to. Ooh.
The good general married into a considerable fortune,
when he took Lord Finch's spinster daughter, Mary, off his hands. Mary's brother, the present Lord Finch, was opposed to the marriage from the very beginning, and there was still considerable friction between him and the General. But through holdings which the General inherited from Mary, he and his former brother-in-law were in business together. Ah, the ironies of life, eh?
Why do you think Malcolm Fitch was so opposed to the marriage?
Well, I'm not sure, but it had something to do with the General's reputation with the ladies. Of course, this was before my time. Now, I'm not certain he can be of any help to you, but you might want to check with my illustrious predecessor, Mr. Lloyd Shoemaker.
I'll make a note of that.
You know, of course, the General wrote a book about art collectors and included some less than chivalrous details about how a few of them had come by their collections. One man, Carson Cabot, a gem collector, was quite incensed by being so named. In fact, he accosted Armstead and fractured the General's collarbone.
I understand that the General was going to include a chapter on the Polar Star Diamond in his revised book. Would you happen to know if Cabot had anything to do with that particular gem?
Well, I can't be certain, but being the collector he is, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't already have it in his possession.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. Langdale Pike said the General married into money, which was Mary. He and his former brother-in-law were in business together. General had some kind of reputation with the ladies. We're supposed to check with Lloyd Shoemaker, Langdale's predecessor. The book was going to say some bad things about some of the people. Some of them were pissed. Did Cabot have anything to do with that particular gem? Who's Cabot? Yeah, business together indeed. What's up, Vulcan Farnell? Hope you're well. Oh my, I need my pipe and glasses for this. What's going on, Casual here? What's going on? Everyone go follow Casual here. Another great streamer that you will enjoy, that always has a rock and metal vibe over there and plays great games that we all enjoy. Hey, aren't you that guy from YouTube? The Retro Rewind? What's he up to? Awesome phone. Oh, that reminds me. Today we finished filming episode 2, which is all about Nesticle speedrunning in the NSM format. I haven't named it yet. I knew episode 1 was going to be called the Internet's First Streaming Emulation Show. I don't know what the hell to call episode 2. But it's filmed. It's done. We filmed it. We filmed the whole thing today. We have like almost an hour of footage that we're going to cram into a 17-minute video or something. But, yeah, episode 2's done as far as the production part. Now, the post-production, that's the stuff that I get crazy with all the frame-by-frame editing that we do. But hopefully I'm less anal this time around. Oh, and we shot it in 4K. Thanks, G. Levy. Episode 2 will be in glorious 4K. Soda's intrigued to see what Classic Plus is in World of Warcraft. You're more of a TBC fan, but you had a Grand Classic to get to level 70. I didn't get very far in World of Warcraft. I got up to was it what was the Frozen? Lich King, maybe? The third one. Burning Crusade, I think, was maybe the second. The third one was the Lich King one. I think I got to that expansion. And then I think I stopped. Exactly, the 4K domain. Oh, somebody's having a little bit of a Craigasm there. Lich King, yeah. Yeah, Wrath of the Lich King. That's the one that I got to. You didn't get anywhere in World of Warcraft till the 2020 lockdowns. Everyone got a lot of places in the 2020 lockdowns. I was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake during that time. That's when you quit too. Yeah, I started to get bored. Culinary stopped in Cataclysm. I got you. I feel like we got to replay that scene again, everybody. I'm going to listen to it one more time.
The good General married into a considerable fortune when he took Lord Finch's spinster daughter, Mary, off his hands. Mary's brother, the present Lord Finch, was opposed to the marriage from the very beginning, and there was still considerable friction between him and the General. But through holdings which the General inherited from Mary, he and his former brother-in-law were in business together. Ah, the ironies of life, eh?
Why do you think Malcolm Fitch was so opposed to the marriage?
Well, I'm not sure, but it had something to do with the General's reputation with the ladies. Of course, this was before my time. Now, I'm not certain he can be of any help to you, but you might want to check with my illustrious predecessor, Mr. Lloyd Shoemaker.
I'll make a note of that.
You know, of course, the General wrote a book about art collectors and included some less than chivalrous details about how a few of them had come by their collections. One man, Carson Cabot, a gem collector, was quite incensed by being so named.
In fact, he accosted Armstead and fractured the general's collarbone. I understand that the general was going to include a chapter on the polar star diamond in his revised book. Would you happen to know if Cabot had anything to do with that particular gem?
Cabot?
Well, I can't be certain, but being the collector he is, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't already have it in his possession.
I'm not sure who they're talking about. Cabot or Cabot? Casual Hero says we funded the comic. Wait, you gotta tell me more about this. What's the deal with funding the comic? Why don't I know about this? I should know about this. Casual, pray tell. Tell us more. I feel like G. Levy already knows what you're talking about. What are we talking about? What did you fund? What comic? I didn't know you were working on a comic. Tell me what's going on. What's going on? Whatever it is, congratulations. Mystic the Earth says you can't stand Wrath of the Lich King Classic. No one will invite folks to raid their dungeon, but folks in vanilla are oddly chill. Yeah, depending on the expansion, I guess you get a different crowd. What can I say? Why is my head getting all itchy? I think it might be time to piece out this hat, everybody. What's going on, Tea Time Retro? Creator of epic mugs like the Shining in the Darkness mug, which I need to start using again once we start playing Shining the Holy Ark again, which hopefully Rig will be ready for that soon, because I miss playing that game with Rig. Let's go talk to Porky Shinwell. Oi! Seems Porky had his customers placing bets on which ticket prize holder was going to win the most prize money. Governor. And I also hear Tea Time Retro might be
Bloody shame
working on a virtual
about
highlight.
General Armistead's death.
How touching, Shinwell. You're really grieved to see him pass on.
Well, sure, I had me money on him. I should have trusted me instincts and gone with one of the ladies.
Captain Jurgens doesn't seem to have had much of a following, even at 25 to 1.
Nah, that's just Booth Lacey and his cronies, and that's really a sentimental bet. You see, Jurgens is Lacey's uncle.
So Jurgens had the least number of bets, probably because he was the oldest. I don't think that really told us anything. Do you think that told us anything, chat? I don't think so. I don't think anyone's really... The only one that's been kind of helpful, I think, is Langdale Pike. I don't really think we got a lot of information from anybody else. Somerset House. Anything we need here? All Armstead's money goes to the Armstead Foundation.
Is there any mention of the Tontine Fund in the General's will?
None. It simply states that Farnsworth Armstead's entire estate is to be used to form the Armstead Foundation, an organization to be dedicated to the study of military history.
So no one would be doing that, you know, killing him for some kind of money, because all the money in his will is going to the Armstead Foundation, so that ain't gonna work. He was rambling, a bit of ramble. We're gonna do a ramble, doodle, effing do. Alright, so now we gotta start figuring out who to talk to. Let's start off with Armstead himself and see if there's somebody home. The general was killed by some old codger who walked with a cane and carried a carpet bag. What? Alright, we gotta hear more about this.
I found the general leaning over the display case. He had his saber in hand, the one that usually resides above the fireplace.
I understand he was a collector of military figures.
Yes, the display in the study shows the last great British charge that swept the French from Waterloo.
Is there any significance to the fact that the figure of Napoleon is facing backwards?
How strange. Perhaps I should go and set it straight.
No, don't touch it. Not until the police have concluded their investigation.
Oh, yes, of course.
I also noticed the portrait over the display case.
The late Mrs. Armstead.
Do I detect a note of hostility?
I must admit we did not get on very well. But I might say that Mrs. Armstead did not get on very well with anyone, including the general.
You mean they didn't marry for love?
Hardly. Lord Fitch, Mrs. Armstead's father, arranged the match. Her dowry was very generous. Lord Fitch would have paid any amount to ensure that he would not be left with a spinster daughter, especially such a nasty one.
If there was no love lost between them, why did he keep her portrait in his study?
Actually, it was put up there to needle Mrs. Armstead's brother, the present Lord Fitch. He never approved of the marriage.
What?
Even after her death, they were involved with mutual business affairs. They jointly owned stock or some such thing.
Tell me, do you know what the general was doing at the time the intruder arrived?
Yes, he was working on the new section of his book, the part that concerns the gem, the Polar Star. It was very interesting, really. It traces the ownership of the gem to the brother of Napoleon, to the Russian Count Rostov. Unfortunately, the gem was stolen from the Count 3 years ago. As a matter of fact, the general just received a letter from a Pierre Montan, who said that he was willing to divulge the name of the present owner of the gem for the agreed-upon fee.
Do you know where Mr. Montan might be found?
I believe he's staying at the Bridge House Hotel.
Did the general have any encounters with anyone out of the ordinary in the past several days?
Not really. An old friend of his has been in town, Jean-Paul Girard. Neither the general nor I have seen him in 40 years. In fact, they were going to meet this afternoon at the French embassy.
I'm obviously curious about the general's last visitor. Could you describe him, please?
He was an old man, a rather short fellow. He walked with a cane and carried a carpetbag.
Did he give a name?
No. He simply wanted to see the general, and he handed me a letter to take in to him.
Did you read it?
No. It was in an envelope, rather yellowed with age, though I noticed it was addressed in a graceful hand to Captain Armstead, 12th Hussars, the general's old regiment. When the general read it, he went very pale. Then he asked me to admit the gentleman.
Tell me, when you finally got into the room from the garden, were the study doors still locked?
Yes.
I noticed that there is an 8-foot fence surrounding the garden, and that the only way into the garden or out of it is through the kitchen door or the study.
How terribly observant, Holmes.
So wait a minute. The only way in or out is either through the kitchen door or the study? So how did the dude get out? Oh my God, there's so much to unpack here, everybody. I might need some help with this one. Okay, Armstead's butler, or whoever he is, this must be that dude, oh God, that must be David Sennett, the valet, that's it, the valet. Armstead's valet described that the figure of Napoleon was facing backwards. What does that mean? That sounds important. Is that why they're calling this the case of the tin soldier? The Napoleon figure is the tin soldier, or is General Armstead the tin soldier, or both? This is a FMV game, Tea Time Retro. Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective for the Sega CD, which was also on TG16 CD and PC, and is based on the board game or book game Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, of which I have one of them that at some point I'll share with you all. I just keep forgetting to bring it down in time for the stream. But the portrait over the display case is Mrs. Armstead. She didn't like anybody. Nobody liked her. Her dowry was very generous. Didn't marry for love. At the time the intruder arrived, he was working on the Polar Star chapter. Gem was stolen. But then he got a letter from Pierre Von Tom staying at the Bridge House Hotel. Jean-Paul Girard, oh, this is getting complex, was supposed to meet this afternoon at the French embassy. The murderer was an old man, walked with a cane, had a carpetbag, handed Captain Armstead his old regiment. It was Captain Armstead something. Shit, do we have to watch this one again, everybody? I feel like we have to watch this one again. All right, let's watch this again. One more time.
I found the general leaning over the display case. He had his saber in hand, the one that usually resides above the fireplace.
I understand he was a collector of military figures.
Yes, the display in the study shows the last great British charge that swept the French from Waterloo.
Is there any significance to the fact that the figure of Napoleon is facing backward?
Oh, strange. Perhaps I should go and set it straight.
No, don't touch it. Not until the police have concluded their investigation.
Oh, yes, of course.
I also noticed the portrait over the display case.
The late Mrs. Armstead.
Do I detect a note of hostility?
I must admit we did not get on very well. But I might say that Mrs. Armstead did not get on very well with anyone, including the general.
You mean they didn't marry for love?
Hardly. Lord Fitch, Mrs. Armstead's father, arranged the match. Her dowry was very generous. Lord Fitch would pay to any amount to ensure that he would not be left with a spinster daughter, especially such a nasty one.
If there was no love lost between them, why did he keep her portrait in his study?
Actually, it was put up there to needle Mrs. Armstead's brother, the present Lord Fitch. He never approved of the marriage. Even after her death, they were involved with mutual business affairs. They jointly owned stock or some such thing.
Tell me, do you know what the general was doing at the time the intruder arrived?
Yes, he was working on the new section of his book. The part that concerns the gem, the Polar Star, was very interesting, really. It traces the ownership of the gem to the brother of Napoleon, to the Russian Count Rostov. Unfortunately, the gem was stolen from the Count 3 years ago. As a matter of fact, the general just received a letter from a Pierre Montan, who said that he was willing to divulge the name of the present owner of the gem for the agreed-upon fee.
Do you know where Mr. Montan might be found?
I believe he's staying at the Bridge House Hotel.
Did the general have any encounters with anyone out of the ordinary in the past several days?
Not really. An old friend of his has been in town, Jean-Paul Girard. Neither
Old
the
friend.
general nor I have seen him in 40 years. In fact, they were going to meet this afternoon at the French embassy.
I'm obviously curious about the general's last visitor. Could you describe him, please?
He was an old man, a rather short fellow. He walked with a cane and carried a carpet bag.
Did he give a name?
No. He simply wanted to see the general, and he handed me a letter to take into him.
Did you read it?
No. It was in an envelope, rather yellowed with age, though I noticed it was addressed in a graceful hand to Captain Armstead, 12th Hussars, the general's old regiment. When the general
12th
read
what?
it, he went very pale. Then he asked me to admit the gentleman.
Tell me.
12th
when you finally got
something.
into the room from the garden, were the study doors still locked?
Yes.
I noticed that there is an 8-foot fence surrounding the garden, and that the only way into the garden or out of it is through the kitchen door or the study.
How terribly observant, Holmes.
So he must have gotten out through the kitchen. Why am I writing study? 12 Hussars? Okay, the 12th Hussars. What does that mean? What's a Hussar? Is that like the 12th regiment? Like is that what a Hussar is? I don't know words. I'm not cultured, chat. I still can't figure out waiting for Godot. They're waiting for Godot. 12th Hussars. The 12th Hussar Regiment was a German Hussar regiment active during the Napoleonic Wars. Okay. Zangief is from the U.S. Hussar? They're a kind of soldier. Or
No,
type of
sir, I don't
cavalry.
like it.
Okay, got it. So I'm going to put in parentheses here. A type of cavalry. Okay. So he must have gotten out through the kitchen then? What does that tell us? Trying to visualize this. So he let him in to the study. The only way in or out of the outside is the kitchen door or the study. And if the study door was... I'm trying to understand this. I executed USSR joke perfectly. But I'll give you a rim shot for that. What's up, Gonzo Wookie? The sleuthing is it's going. I need to think about this. I feel like we might have to watch it again. I'm so confused. What did we learn here, chat? This is a hard case. This is so much harder than the first two. The figure of Napoleon being backwards, I know is important. I just don't know why. but it's got to be important. Mrs. Armstead hated everybody, and they didn't like each other. They didn't marry for love. There was a letter from a Pierre von Tom staying at the Bridge House Hotel. Should we start there? Should we go to the Bridge House Hotel? Let's go to the Bridge House Hotel. Let's do that. Try to get some more information here. Benedict Cumberbatch would be still mean for me not figuring this out right now. I know, right? He totally would be. The real Sherlock Holmes, Benedict Cumberbatch. Or Robert Downey Jr., depending on your perspective. Oh, no. All right, let's do that. Let's go to the Bridge House Hotel. Practically tripped over a stiff who seems to be the fellow you're looking for. Governor. You maimed a holy priest for 60% of your
How in the
wow
world did you
plan?
hear about it so soon, Mr. Holmes? The body's still warm. Couldn't have happened more than 10 minutes
What?
ago. Body? What body? Well, the one what's upstairs in 203.
We're here for
What do you
something
mean?
else, actually, looking for Pierre Martin.
Well, that's the very fellow what was done in.
Tell me, young man, do you know what transpired?
Well, Mr. Matton checked into the hotel on the 8th. He was a Frenchman. I didn't speak to him much.
Who discovered the body?
I did. Well, I came along to his room to deliver a wire. Here it is, sir.
Information still valuable. See me, Wells, Osborne, Norgate and Company, publishers. Tell me, did you see anyone suspicious hanging about?
No. No, sir. Well, actually, now that I think about it, there was a rather large man with a foreign accent. Russian, I think.
Secure all
He said that he wasn't
positions.
sure about the address,
Here we go.
and that he'd only just arrived in London. He asked Mr. Matton,
Full
and I
ahead.
sent him straight
Next
up.
stop, Zophar's domain.
A few minutes later, he came down. He was practically running. I saw him go out the front door and hail a cab.
Was there anything amiss in the room?
I'll say. An inkwell was toppled on its side. Left an awful mess on the carpet. Big blue spots.
We're gonna have to
and
replay it. I couldn't hear
How
a
in the
thing.
world did you hear about it so soon, Mr. Holmes? The body's still warm. Couldn't have happened more than 10 minutes ago.
Body? What body?
Well, the one what's upstairs in 203.
We're here for something else, actually, looking for Pierre Martin.
Well, that's the very fellow what was done in.
Tell me, young man, do you know what transpired?
Well, Mr. Matton checked into the hotel on the 8th.
Mattin.
He was a Frenchman. I didn't speak to him much.
Who discovered the body?
I did. Well, I came along to his room to deliver a wire. Here it is, sir.
Information still valuable. See me, Wells, Osborne, Norgate and Company, publishers. Tell me, did you see anyone suspicious hanging about?
No. No, sir. Well, actually, now that I think about it, there was a rather large man
Oh, you're good,
with a foreign
Jacqueline.
accent. Russian, I think. He said that he wasn't sure about the address and that he'd only just arrived in London. He asked for Mr. Matton, and I sent him straight up. Well, he was rather well-spoken and well-mannered. I didn't think anything of it at the time. A few minutes later, he came down. He was practically running. I saw him go out the front door and hail a cab.
Was there anything amiss in the room?
I'll say. An inkwell was toppled on its side. Left an awful mess on the carpet. Big blue spots and inky footprints right the way to the door. The manager will be in a fret when he sees it. Fortunately, there was no blood.
Perhaps he was strangled.
It's pretty obvious whoever the Russian dude was murdered him. I'm going to put an addendum. I think the Russian dude murdered him. But this is not what we're here for. This is not what we were trying to figure out. So there's obviously some shady shit with this diamond. I don't know if Armstead was murdered for the same reason. Darbica says, is this Blue's Clues for the Sega CD? Basically, yes. All right, listen. I need to go to the bathroom real quick. And when I come back, we're going to unpack all of this. So please don't change that channel, chat, because Zophar's Realm will be right back. And Jacqueline the Love Bears, thank you for the follow. Oh, and one more thing. Communism was just a red herring.
Oh, hello. This is Mick Foley, World Wrestling Federation champion. I just wanted to welcome all of you to Zophar's Realm. I hear he's got a lot of cool cats coming and going to play some retro game for you. Bang, bang! We love it. I love it. And I want to thank you, welcome you. Mr. Sacco wants to welcome you too. Have a nice day.
Yes! Yes! I did it! I did it! Chris, this fight's tough. Let me tell you a good strategy. Yes, here's the strategy. Everybody ready? This is it. Watch. See the strategy? It's good. It's a good strategy. Good strategy. Yeah, mash that button, yeah.
I can't do it.
Hell with the game. This is more fun. Who needs a game?
Planning. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Is he gonna die? Oh no. Well, I'll take over. Alright, guys. I got.
Good night, everybody.
He's gone. Alright. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sherlock Gaming. My name is Andrew. It's good to see you guys. You can call me Rig. We're gonna play some Shine the Holy Ark.
See, when I was a kid, and this is not a knock, by the way, on my mom. I love my mom. But my mom made 20,000 different forms of chicken. So after a while, like, I think this is why I like sushi, because I just started looking for anything that wasn't chicken. I'm like, but I love you, Mom. Your chicken was great, Mom. Your chicken was great.
Oh, yeah, your chicken was fantastic, Zophar's mom.
God blimey, don't sneak up on me like that.
He said the thing. I'll end up doing something really friggin' stupid. Noodly, noodly, noodly. Oh, what the? Yo, everybody, did you all see that? You all saw that, right? Somebody clip that. Someone clip that moment. I want that moment clipped. You all saw that, right? Everybody here saw that, right? Validated? Told you I was gonna do it. I wasn't even trying to do it. Oh, God. Oh, thank you, game. Oh, my God. The game saved me. The game saved me. Oh, ah! I pressed up. I swear I pressed up. All right, here we go. Someday, perhaps you will allow me to hear yours, Alex Bird. God, you suck. Maverickism! No, I'm just kidding. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. And Rig of Retro Island Gaming, Mr. Andrew R. Gaming, Andrew H., Andrew the man, the myth, the legend. If we don't beat Shining the Holy Ark soon, I'm gonna be sad.
Look at mine.
Wait, what happened?
Hold on, there's something wrong with it. Oh, the bottom.
Wait, no! You can't! Ah! Ay, me hearty, you concussed me again. Son of a... Well, if the run wasn't already dead, now it is. That's so funny. Do you see this? You all see this, right? The game's just... Not only is kicking me while I'm down, the game is literally kicking me while I'm down. F this game. Sir Boom, I hope you're doing really well. Wait, no, actually, yes. Can't play the game if I'm dead.
Hey everyone, G Levy here. If you're interested in appearing in our next BRB video, send me a whisper on stream, or hit me up on Discord. Hope to see you soon.
Stop!
Each of you will now listen to the Lord of the Realm and the Domain. Each of you have been stained by a sub-badge and marked by a follower icon. If I call your name in chat, you will answer, "Yes, Lord Zophar," or I will banish you to the black hole. My stream starts now, mortals.
You braved so dangerous a course to secure a dragon diamond?
I'm beginning to regret that course myself. Please don't chomp us to bits.
Why is it you humans prize those things so much? Don't you know they're made from my but what's the use?
I'm gonna set a fire trap.
Welcome to die.
Oh no! Maybe he won't bother me.
Welcome to die. No, welcome to die.
Oh god! Oh shit! At least I have chicken. Sorry about that. Just had to grab something. What'd I miss?
And that's why I hate Zophar. Oh, hi, Zophar.
Ah, sure.
How about either or, Zophar? You beat this game.
Welcome to die.
Without the code. And I'll play Seven Saga, or I.
Come on! I did it! I beat Contra without cheating! I never did it before! Yes, 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 yes! Little Daniel Bryan yes right there. Ooh! Liberty Bell drop. Stop! Each one of you shall now participate in the Zophar's Realm prediction. You get it right, double your silver. But if you get it wrong, then you lose it all! My weapon has a cleavage. Oh my god. The cleaver has a duration, not the cleavage. Jesus Christ. We are owed a angel tears though, so let me go grab some real quick and I will BRB.
Sure. Chat, what is he grabbing? I don't know what he's doing. I love this though. It's so random.
Oh god. F. Did you see that? I beat it. I said F, and then the F came out.
Nobody takes Zophar seriously.
Nobody takes me seriously, He-Man.
Oh my god!
What? Uh-oh, spell, ring, spell. Spell. The spell.
Melody da 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 da, melody da 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 da.
A scroll of Ah!
Oh, damn.
It says the thing! They said the thing! The thing! It's the Lost Scroll of Jim! Oh my god. It's the Lost Scroll of Jim. Everybody, it's the freaking Lost Scroll of Jim. Jim! Dude! Alright, here we go. Alright. We're gonna looky look.
We're gonna find a boss and die.
Whoa, what? Really? Really? You knew that was coming. You knew that was coming, right? Okay. We're back. And my brain is... I don't know if we're going to solve this one anytime soon. There's so much information here. I don't even know what we learned. What did we learn? Oh, chat, what did we learn? Anybody know what we learned? I don't know what we learned. We learned that Pierre Mantine was murdered, and it was probably the Russian dude. So, fuck that guy. That's what I think. We don't like him anyway. He sounds like an asshole. He's like that guy Drogo or from Rocky IV. Wait! No, Darbicus! I'm trying to solve the murder of General Farmstead. Did I just call him Farmstead? Now it's all scrambled and I need grog. Yar, Sherlock Holmes has broke me brain, and now I feel nothing but all the pain. Oh, or on the other hand, maybe now I've solved it. Maybe that cannon shot to the brain was just what the Zophar needed. We should go and check out Jean-Paul Girard, who's somewhere. Okay, there's no Jean-Paul Girard here. The French Embassy. Here we go. That's where he's supposed to be. Let's go to the French Embassy. Maybe we'll learn something there. Maybe Jean-Paul Girard is there. Oi! He did tell us that he and the general were in the war college together. While in France, Armstead had an affair with a French girl. I believe was engaged to Mary Fitch at the time. Gerard said he called her Horseface because she was so ugly. Whoa, that's douchey. What an asshole. I wonder why he didn't marry the French girl. All right, that's a lot of information. We're going to have to tackle all that. Okay. French Embassy. So at the French Embassy, we learned, and we're going to have to go there too just to verify all this information is correct, but Jean-Paul Girard said he and the general went to war college together. In France, Armstead had an affair with a French girl while engaged to Mary Fitch at the time. Armstead called her Horseface. Yikes. Because she was so ugly. Why didn't he marry the French girl? Okay, let's go there and find out more.
Farney and I spent over a year quartered together in France in war college. We became the best of friends.
Did you know much of the general's personal life at the time?
He always put the rest of us to shame in the matters of love. Said it was because we had no horse face to spur us on.
Did the general have a passion for horses?
Mon Dieu, no. He was engaged to a terribly unattractive woman by the name of Mary Fitch. Behind her back, that's what he called her. Horseface.
How dreadful.
Whatever became of her? She eventually became Mrs. Armstead and brought her great fortune to the marriage. I believe that Farney looked upon his stay in France as his last great fling.
Are you saying that there was no particular woman at the time?
I did not say that. There was one, but I never met her. My little flower, he called her. I remember one night he could not sleep. He was slightly drunk, and he kept rambling on about promises that must be kept and promises that couldn't be. Finally, he collapsed on the bed with such sadness in his eyes I will never forget it. Ma Fleurette, he said. How very touching.
Have you seen much of the general over the years?
We have always maintained our friendship through correspondence, until last week, that is. It was the first time we had seen each other in over 40 years. We had supper, and then went to see the French actor Philippe Arnaud perform. The general commented that my presence beside him while French was being spoken reminded him of the old days.
So your visit went well?
Exceedingly well.
Can you think of anything that might have been troubling him?
No, the general was in excellent spirits. He joked about the upcoming Tontine celebration at the Langham, and he was very enthusiastic about the new information concerning the Polar Star. In fact, this week he was supposed to meet with a countryman of mine about it. It is hard.
We just got raided by Gamers Uplink at the pivotal moment of the part in Sherlock Holmes, and now we have to play it again. Gamers Uplink, thank you. Thank you so much for the raid. How are you? What did you play tonight?
Jim!
That was a perfectly timed Gamers Uplink style raid. No, I'm just messing with you. You're good. You're good. We're going to play that again. We have to play it again anyway. I can't hear anything anymore. I'm old. What were you playing, Gamers Uplink? Let's get you a little shouty shout out. Anything good? It's never a bad time for a raid. Exactly. Hey, Star Tropics.
I know. Down this way.
Mega Man, Wily Wars, and Quackshot. So you did finally beat Mega Man X3 at some point. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo. We have a doodly-doo all night. Sherlock Holmes doesn't really have a lot of doodly-doing, does it? It has a lot of doodly-don'ting. You did not? You shelved it? Wait, you're still playing Mega Man games, but you didn't beat X3? You just skipped over it? How does that work? See, that's why I never would have committed to doing all the Mega Mans. There's no way. I'd be like, that's not happening. I wouldn't have even beaten 1, I don't think. 1 is such a slog. And, I probably wouldn't have gotten past the first title. You're going to come back to X3? Good luck. Good luck. Once you beat X3, then I'll give you my answer as to whether I'm going to try it or not. Because if you can't even beat it, why am I going to try it? Right? All right, we got to listen to that again. Let's listen one more time.
Barney and I spent over a year quartered together in France in War College. We became the best of friends.
Did you know much of the General's personal life at the time?
He always put the rest of us to shame in the matters of love. Said it was because we had no horse face to spur us on.
Did the General have a passion for horses?
Mon Dieu, no. He was engaged to a terribly unattractive woman by the name of Mary Fitch. Behind her back, that's what he called her. Horseface.
How dreadful. Whatever became of her?
She eventually became Mrs. Armstead and brought her great fortune to the marriage. I believe that Farney looked upon his stay in France as his last great fling.
Are you saying that there was no particular woman at the time?
I did not say that. There was one, but I never met her. My little flower, he called her. I remember one night he could not sleep. He was slightly drunk, and he kept rambling on about promises that must be kept and promises that couldn't be. Finally, he collapsed on the bed with such sadness in his eyes I will never forget it. Ma Fleurette, he said. How very touching.
Have you seen much of the General over the years?
We have always maintained our friendship through correspondence, until last week, that is. It was the first time we had seen each other in over 40 years. We had supper, and then went to see the French actor Philippe Arnaud perform. The General commented that my presence beside him while French was being spoken reminded him of the old days.
So your visit went well?
Exceedingly well.
Can you think of anything that might have been troubling him?
No, the General was in excellent spirits. He joked about the upcoming Tontine celebration at the Langham, and he was very enthusiastic about the new information concerning the Polar Star. In fact, this week he was supposed to meet with a countryman of mine about it. It is hard to believe that my good friend is gone.
Oh, all he said was it's hard to believe his good friend is gone. Okay. So we didn't have to watch that again. F! Anyways. Well, we actually learned a lot just now. Philip Arnaud. He watched... So he went to see a play with someone named Philip Arnaud, at least that's what it sounded like he said, who was a French actor reminding him of the old days. So maybe we need to learn more about that play that he saw. Maybe that will give us insight. So let's see. Philip Arnaud. Arnaud. Ooh, right under Farnsworth. We tried, we really did, but they just wouldn't answer the door. The great French actor who is a member of the famed French company Arnaud. let's see.
What did you learn, Watson?
Not a thing, Holmes.
You learned nothing?
Don't get testy, Holmes. There wasn't anyone about.
My humble apologies, Watson.
All right, that was not very helpful. All right, well, I guess that's not important then. Why is his name there, and why is he mentioned if you can't even go to him? Is it possible because he's French, he's at a hotel somewhere? Maybe we got to go to the Langham. Let's do that. Let's go to Langham. Right? Langham. Holmes, these chaps are really in the dark. Never even knew the old general was dead. Really? The Langham Hotel is located in the West End of London and boasts the city's most elegant accommodations, a favorite place of the King of Bohemia. The play's the thing that will catch the conscience of the king. Very Shakespeare.
Knows anything about Armstead's demise. The manager was rather grateful I told him the news. Says now they can count on one less place setting at the banquet.
Then I suppose it was a good thing we stopped here, Watson.
Okay, that wasn't helpful. All right. I guess we can go talk to the book publishers, maybe? Oh boy, this isn't good. Is it maybe under book? No. How do we... What did they call the book publisher? Wells, Osborne, Borgate and Company? Wells Osborne? Our knuckles are sore from pounding on the door.
Pity. It appears that no one is in.
However, can you tell, Holmes?
There is a sign on the door that says, "We are gone for the day."
How terribly observant, Holmes.
My dear Watson.
All right, Borgate and Company? I'm not seeing anything that looks like Borgate and Company. Oh, but there's Lord Malcolm Fitch, the mother or father of Mary Fitch. Let's go check that out. This stuffy bloke wouldn't let us pass this front gate. Nervy sot. Malcolm Fitch is the son of Lord Fitch and the grandson of the Earl of Leicester. Lord
I admit
Fitch.
I strongly disliked Armstead. He was a cad who made my sister's life miserable. I argued at length with my father against the marriage, but to no avail.
But what was your sister's opinion at the time?
Well, unfortunately, Mary was not the attractive sort who had scores of suitors. My father was afraid she'd be left a spinster. The engagement was arranged just before Armstead went to France. During the year he was gone, I had him watched and discovered he was in the thick of some scandal involving a young French girl.
And you told your father?
Well, he wouldn't listen. I even went so far as to give the story to the newspapers. But my father got wind of it and used his influence to prevent its publication.
Ah, killed the story.
I would have done anything to keep my sister away from that man.
Including murder?
Why, that's preposterous. Well, surely you don't think... I was scheduled to meet with Armstead today. But you see, my wife took ill. I spent the whole morning attending to her here until Dr. Ainstree arrived at around 11 o'clock.
Until Doctor Who arrived? Ainstree? Because, yeah, that would be motive for murder. Lord Fitch. But he's saying that his wife was ill and Dr. Ainstree came. So I guess we got to chase down that lead now. Oh, my God. There's so much going on here. Dr. Ainstree? Ainstree. Here we go. The good doc says he saw Lord Fitch at 10 o'clock. All right, I guess that's the alibi. Dr. Ainstree is a world authority on tropical diseases.
We understand you were summoned to Lord Fitch's residence this morning.
Quite right.
I received the message at around 9 o'clock and arrived at their home by 10. Lord Fitch met me at the door.
All right, well, that sounds like an alibi to me. Oh, boy. I guess we should talk to all the Tontine ticket holders at this point, right? Have we checked on Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius? Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Oh, Dr. Zaius. Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. What was the other one? They've really made a monkey out of me. Oh, I miss those days, Darby. Because anybody remember when The Simpsons was funny? That was great back then. Back when The Simpsons was funny. Yep. All right, let's go talk to Captain Robert Juergens. Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. No, you gotta. Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. we need a clip. We need a Dr. Zaius clip on here, chat. We totally do. All right, Robert Juergens. Here we go. The old geezer says his no good nephew. Oh my God, another fucking name. Booth Lacey has his eye on the tontine money. Also thought you'd like to know Juergens gets about on a cane. F! All right. So, nephew Booth Lacey wants the money, uses a cane. All right, let's go check it out.
Sorry, Holmes. No information here.
Then let's not dawdle, Watson. There's work to be done.
I don't know. Can't even see him. I guess they ran out of FMV space. All right, let's see. Booth Lacey. Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Oh, Dr. Zaius. Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Landlady says Lacey's always buttering up. That was it. I hate every ape I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee. You'll never make a monkey out of me. They need a Planet of the Apes musical. They really do. Landlady says Lacey's always buttering up to his uncle, some bloke called Captain Juergens. Oh my God, yeah. It was Earth all along. You finally made a monkey. Yes, we finally made a monkey. Oh, you finally made a monkey out of me. I love you, Dr. Zaius. She also said we could find Lacey at the Red Bull Inn. All right, so Lacey's at the Red Bull Inn. I'm going to write that down.
What did you discover, Watson?
He wasn't in, Holmes, though his landlady suggested we might try the Red Bull Inn. The woman practically talked my ear off, went on and on about how Lacey constantly plays up to his uncle, Captain Juergens, who's one of those old gents with the ticket in the tontine. I thought she'd never hush up.
This is going nowhere. You think the same thing of South Park? Oh, you're crazy. South Park's still hilarious. I was watching the pandemic special last year, and it was hilarious. No, it's still funny. But The Simpsons is not, unfortunately. We're going to go to the Red Bull Inn. Right? Isn't that what he said? Red Bull Inn? Oh, it's not considered a hotel? It's not. Okay. Great place to knock down a couple of pints. By the way, that Lacey wasn't there. He headed over to London Bridge Station. F!
I was wondering if you'd seen a Mr. Booth Lacey around here today.
Nope. Must be my lucky day.
Well, then, if it's your lucky day, why not spread some good cheer in the form of a pint and some food to that unfortunate chap standing outside your door? Poor bloke is missing an arm and a leg.
That poor bloke's your one and only Booth Lacey. Well, the whole thing's an act. He's as normal as you and me. Spends half his time begging out front and the other half swindling folks down at London Bridge Station.
So he's actually right outside. Or he was right outside. And then the rest of the people he swindles at London Bridge Station. Is there any point even going there? Is this going anywhere? No. They're not funny, Beavis. London Bridge Station. Oh, we're not funny, Beavis. Sorry, Holmes. We must have missed him by air. Yeah, Beavis and Butthead was funny for like a season.
I see you still make your living by strapping your arms and legs behind you and fooling the poor public out of its tuppence.
Man's got to make a living somehow. What can I do for you, Holmes?
I want to ask you about the murder of General Armstead.
General who?
Really,
Lacey. Perhaps you can fool some of the public some of the time, but you can never fool Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, that General Armstead. Where were you at 10 o'clock this morning?
Where else would I be? I was at church. You, Lacey, at church. It hardly seems like it. I swear, at St. Mary's. They pass out soup and bread every morning at 9:30. The father will vouch for me. You can even ask him.
I may just do precisely that.
Passed out soup and bread at 9:30 a.m. All right, this probably will go nowhere, but let's go to St. Mary's and corroborate the alibi. Tippy for my bunghole. Bunghole. All right, let's go to St. Mary's. Oops, not there. Wow, I don't feel like we know who did this yet. Not feeling good about this at all. I don't even have an idea of who. Like, I got nothing, man. St. Mary's. Here we go. Now, we haven't chased down all the leads yet. There's definitely more to do, but I have no idea yet. The father sees Lacey every morning at the soup kitchen. We may make it a regular stopping place ourselves. It was Dr. Jekyll, not Mr. Hyde.
I was wondering, Father, if you happen to know a man by the name of Booth Lacey. I should say that I do. I see him every morning. At Vespers? Wish that it were. No, at our soup kitchen. We can pray for the unfortunates of this world, certainly, but we can also offer them a little sustenance of a more nourishing kind. Every morning at 9:30, our doors are thrown open to those less privileged than ourselves. And every morning, without fail, Booth Lacey is here. You're certain of that? I am. You see, with only one arm, he needs someone to carry his bowl to the table. Invariably, I am that someone.
Carries the bowl to the table for him. Okay, that went nowhere. Thanks for that, Captain Robert Jurgens, you frickin' giant douche. All right, let's go to Lita and Claire Thomas. Maybe we'll have better luck there. It was G. Levy all along. Yeah, now Darbic got it. It was Professor Plum in the kitchen with Miss Scarlet. Very good. Remember Mr. Green in the Tim Curry? In the Tim Curry Clue movie? And he's like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And then like at the end, he's like, see, I told you I didn't do it. Communism was just a red herring. All right. We're going to go to the Thomases now. All right. Anita Thomas. I wonder if we'll get them both at the same time. These old biddies made our heads spin. And if you go there yourself, don't take tea. You stay in there, talk your ear off. Anita Thomas is a Tontine ticket holder. That's her claim to fame.
Would you care for some tea?
Okay, good. They're together.
It's really quite good. We were just going to have some ourselves.
I really won't be staying long.
We get visitors so seldom.
Did you know the General?
We suppose he was at the last anniversary banquet. But we don't believe we ever met him. We were so sorry to hear of his death. It is such a pity.
Well, so, I imagine you ladies have thought about what you'd do if you won the Tontine money.
We have no living relatives, so therere's no one
to share it with should we win.
We need very little to get by on. Undoubtedly, we would leave it to
The Ladies' League for the Preservation of Finches.
They would leave the money to the preservation of finches? Some society? Okay, well, I don't think they did it. I mean, anything's possible, but I don't see it. So, that went nowhere. How about William Rowland? Where's the beef? In the words of the immortal Tim Curry, space. Maybe it was the twin sister, Esther Forn. It had to have been. How you doing? Save the finches. Oh, no. All right, William Rowland. Roland, Roland, Roland. Said he knew the general and was sad to hear of his death. Seemed like a right nice bloke. He's leaving to visit his son in America for a month. I'm sure he can't be a suspect. Let's go see.
How unfortunate. There's not a soul in sight.
Pity.
No. We got to look at the Baker Street Irregulars report again for Roland, since the game won't let us see him in person. He was a nice bloke, leaving to visit his son in America in a month. Seeing his son in America? Oops. Where's my... Uh-oh. Where's my mouse cursor? That was weird. Seeing his son in America in a month. Baker Street Irregulars say he can't be the murderer. I mean, he could be. But the game is telling us to not bother. So, the game is telling us to not bother, then we probably shouldn't bother. Sorry, I'm just cleaning my mouse. It's all dusty at the bottom here. There we go. All right, so yeah, that's going to go nowhere because the game is telling us it will go nowhere. Not because I think it's nothing, but the game is telling us it's nothing. So we'll just have to assume it's nothing. Peter Dudley. Mr. Holmes, Dudley was a right regular bloke. Says he never met the general. Another one of the Tontine ticket holders.
All this way and not a clue to help us solve this case. How terribly disappointing.
All right, I guess we need to look closer at what the Baker Street Irregular says about Dudley. Dudley, 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 doodly doo. Doodly, 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 Dudley. A right regular bloke. Never met the general. Regular bloke. Say Baker Street Irregulars. All right, we got to go back to the top again and start reading this again. General Smythe. Can we talk to General Smythe again? Let's see. Now we're going to go back over everything. Could it be... Could this be Smythe? Nope. Okay, that's not helpful. We talked to all the ticket holders, and it all went nowhere. There was the Waterloo 75th anniversary banquet at the Langham Hotel. Did we go to the Langham Hotel yet? I can't remember anymore. Did we go to the Langham Hotel? Oh, right. They didn't know the general was dead. That did nothing for us. General Armstrong was working on the Silver Star Diamond about an appointed brother. We got to find this book publisher, the Mergatz and Company. How do we find this publisher? How do we find this book publisher? It's not under book. And it's not under publisher. So where would you find... How do we find this publisher of Mergatz and Company? Does anyone have any suggestions here? I don't want you looking up game facts, give me an answer. But, just use your logic, chat. I'm trusting you're using your logic here. And tell me, where do you think I'd find Mergatz and Company here? I'm literally just clicking around looking for anything that seems to resemble Mergatz and Company. Because maybe they'll have more information. Could it be Norgate and Company? Maybe I just have the name wrong? It is! Seriously? They need subtitles, man. So it's Norgate and Company. Not Norgate. Said the general's book was controversial from the beginning. The general was revising... Are you seriously right now? Exactly, culinary. A section to include the Polar Star Diamond. Seems Pierre Martin, who's dead now, was supposed to give him the info, but they never met.
Made a mistake. We made a mistake.
He mentioned a Russian fellow named Rostov. Hope that helps you. We should check out Rostov.
It appears that they've just left. There are fresh footsteps retreating from the front door.
But look, Holmes, there are also some coming towards the door.
terribly observant, Watson.
Oh,
However,
terribly
the prints you are
observant,
looking
Watson.
at belong to us.
Rostov. Will this go anywhere? Do 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 do. No Rostov. All right, well, we're gonna write that down. Learned Rostov was the person who met with Pierre Martin. So Rostov probably murdered Pierre Martin, but that doesn't seem relevant to what we're trying to figure out, so we're going to keep going. The valet, we learned about the French accent. We need to find out who this visitor with the French accent was. He insisted if Armstead read the letter, he'd make an exception. He read it. It had to be from this time in France. What if this is someone who was, like, blackmailing him? Like, you know, I know about, you know, your relationship with the French girl. Like, maybe. The Times had an article about Princess Theater, and it mentioned French Place. Oh, look at this chat. Look what I wrote down. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Wait. Wait. What was the dude's name with the theater? We couldn't find what theater they were in. What was the name? Fuck. Did I write it down? Hold on. Oh, my God. There's so much information here. I'm looking. Philip Arnaud. Okay. All right. Maybe we can get some information about Philip Arnaud and that place. The play place. What is it called again? Princess Theater. Okay. Remember, I wasn't sure if it was relevant. What if it is? Let's go to the Princess Theater. We're under theaters, maybe? No. Princess? Yes. Okay, here we go. There's some Frenchy play going on at the Princess with a line going around the block. Sorry, Holmes, we didn't have time to wait. Governor. The Princess Theater has splendid productions of the plays from France. The box office is open daily from 10 to 5. All right, let's see if we learn anything here.
Ah, but you must see Philippe perform. My nephew is an artist, a wonder. He manages to portray the Emperor Napoleon from age 19 until his last days on the island of Savarnaise. You would swear 5 different actors playing the part, but no, it is only Philippe aging before your eyes. At 48, he's the toast of the continent.
You seem rather young to be the uncle of a 48-year-old man.
I am but 8 years older than Philippe, though I can assure you I am his uncle. You might say that our family has a history of late arrivals. Philippe's father was 25 years older than myself, and Philippe's poor sister was 15 years older than he.
Why do you say poor?
She died many years ago under tragic circumstances. In fact, her mother was so upset over her daughter's death that she was put into an asylum. We received word yesterday from the asylum that she had also passed away. It upset Philippe very much, resurrecting old ghosts, as you might say. But we have been playing for enthusiastic audiences for several weeks. As we say in the business, the show must go on. And Philippe is a trooper. He would never allow it to affect his performance.
Can you tell us where Philippe Arnaud is this morning? We should like very much to meet him.
Well, he is not here now. Our company is staying at the Grand Hotel. However, I believe today he is visiting the National Gallery. But if you would come back this evening, I will have tickets awaiting, and after the show, you're welcome to come backstage and meet him.
If only this game had time. Like, time would pass, but time does not pass in this game. Philip Arnaud plays Napoleon. Philip's sister died many years ago under tragic circumstances. She was in an asylum or something. It upset Philip very much, but the show must go on. He never let it affect him. Philip Arnaud is staying at the Grand Hotel, but he's visiting the National Gallery? Is that at the Grand Hotel, or is there a place called the National Gallery? I don't know. But we now have a new lead. So we got to go to the Grand Hotel. So I'm going to go to the Grand Hotel, because now we are being told that Philip Arnaud is there. And since we couldn't reach Philip Arnaud at home, we'll go check out the Grand Hotel. Let's see what we see. The hotel manager wouldn't let the likes of us nose around. Maybe you'd better have a look yourself, Governor. The Grand Hotel is located in Charing Cross and is one of London's most recently built hotels. Okay, let's see what we find.
How fortunate that Inspector Lestrade authorized the hotel manager to allow us to search Philippe Arnaud's room.
Perhaps we can return the favor and solve a case for him someday. Today, for example. Let's look around.
Huh.
How strange that a man who requires a cane would leave without it.
Perhaps he doesn't require it for walking.
Look here at the handle.
Well, that could certainly give a fellow a start.
Precisely, Watson.
What the fuck?
Look here. It appears to be a letter.
Looks quite old. It's addressed to Captain Armstead, 12th Hussars.
Shall I read it?
Please do.
Dearest, how I hated you for leaving me, but the child, our child, eased my heartache and muted the hate. Now my sweet baby is dead. How cruel that the innocent must suffer for the sins of others. Now I have nothing. Now I am nothing. I cannot bear the pain. Goodbye, I love you still, Fleurette. How tragic.
Why, perhaps this is the very letter that the General read.
Good thinking, Watson.
We might have cracked this case, but I need to watch this scene one more time. Okay. The cane, there's a cane left at a bed, and it's a sword. And remember they said there was a dude with a cane and a carpet bag, and he handed a letter that said, Captain Arnaud, 12th... What was it again? The 12th what? The 12th something, right? 12th... God damn it. What was it called? Does anybody remember? That weird name I can't think of? 12th something. 12th Hussar, that was it. 12th Hussar. So, Captain Arnaud, 12th Hussar. So that's literally the letter. So if that's the letter and the dude had a cane, and we now know the cane was a sword, then the dude with the cane, with the sword, and the murderer are all the same person, which has to mean Philip Arnaud is the murderer. It has to. That's his cane, which was really a sword, and the reason it's left in the room is he probably didn't need it. It's probably like a part of it, it's just like he's faking it. Like that other dude that was faking shit to panhandle. Juergens walked with a cane? No, that was the other dude that we were just talking about. The dude that Juergens was related to? Fuck was his name? This dude, Booth Lacey. But Booth Lacey has an alibi. Philip Arnaud, on the other hand, though, different dude with a cane. I think Philip Arnaud did the murder. I think it fits. He had a sword in his cane and the letters in his hotel room, which is the letter that the other dude, the valet, saw him hand to him. So it has to be Philip Arnaud. But why? We're missing one piece of this puzzle right now. Why? We got to watch this one more time.
How fortunate that Inspector Lestrade authorized the hotel manager to allow us to search Philippe Arnaud's room.
Perhaps we can return the favor and solve a case for him someday. Today, for example. Let's look around.
How strange that a man who requires a cane would leave without it.
Perhaps he doesn't require it for walking.
Look here at the handle.
Well, that could certainly give a fellow a start.
Precisely, Watson. Look here. It appears to be a letter.
Looks quite old. It's addressed to Captain Armstead, 12th Hussars.
Shall I read it?
Please do.
Dearest, how I hated you for leaving me, but the child, our child, eased my heartache and muted the hate. Now my sweet baby is dead. How cruel that the innocent must suffer for the sins of others. Now I have nothing. Now I am nothing. I cannot bear the pain. Goodbye, I love you still, Fleurette.
Fleurette?
Why, perhaps this is the very letter that the General read.
Good thinking, Watson.
Wait, Fleurette. He talked about Fleurette. So why does Philip Arnaud have this letter? This is the French girl. Wait a minute. If Fleurette is the French girl that Armstead had the affair with, And Philip Arnault has this letter, and he's French, and he had a sister that died. Fudge! Why didn't I swear? Philip Arnault is Florette's brother, and it's revenge. That's why he did it. I got it. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. It makes sense, right? So what probably happened, the Jewel shit and the Tontine shit, all of that was a red herring. It had nothing to do with anything. The kids, yay! I think that Philip Arnault somehow found out about General Armstead, like tracked him down somehow, came, brought the letter from Florette. We don't know how he found out, and then said, give this to Armstead. Armstead saw it, turned white as a sheet because he was like, oh shit, this was the girl that I had the affair with. Saw the dude, and the dude probably drew his weapon and said, for the honor. And then it was an honor fight. And it makes sense because Philip Arnault played Napoleon. He was a short dude, remember? So he's probably in a disguise. Like when he said he was an old man, he was probably in a disguise, and the carpet bag probably had more shit in there. And am I missing anything? I'm hitting all the points, right? It's got to be that. Right? Does this sound right? It has to be. The only question is, how did he get out of there? Like, once he killed General Armstead or mortally wounded him, how did he escape? Did he run into the kitchen at the time that he was running around from the study? Like, how did he... I don't know how he got out. Do you think the judge is going to want to know that? Because I feel like we got everything else. We have motive. We have opportunity. We have everything except how he escaped. Greetings in good health, Necromancer Crotus. I don't know how he escaped. How did he escape? I don't know how he escaped. The real question is, how does this affect Al Franken? Oh, boy. All right. That's the only thing I don't know, but I feel like maybe we don't need to know it. Maybe Sherlock Holmes will fill in the blanks. I think we have enough information now. I think we can go forward with this. So the thing that cracked the case, chat, if I wasn't writing all this down, by the way, there'd be no hope of getting this. There's zero hope. This was hard. It's not over yet, though. I still got to go to the judge, but I think we got it. But they gave you so much information that was worthless, but there was a bit of information. Like, this was crazy. If we didn't have this right here, everybody, if I hadn't read the newspaper, like, you know how for those that...
Over, people. We don't have a prayer.
What's up, Rankasau? How did you escape, indeed? If we hadn't read the newspaper at the beginning of the stream a few hours ago, and I hadn't seen an article about French plays and thought, oh, French, Tin Soldier, Napoleon, they were talking about all this, like, in the description, like, I probably wouldn't have even thought anything of it. I wouldn't have written it down. Now, imagine if we went through all that and we didn't have the piece of information about the Princess Theater. We never would have known to go there, and we wouldn't have had any of this. We would have had a dead end with Philip Arnault. Wow. Well, that's why we check everything. Let's go to the judge. I think we can solve this. This is an FMV detective game, Rankasau.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Queen's Court stands in order. I see we have the pleasure of your company today, Mr. Holmes. I understand you've been investigating the murder of General Farnsworth Armstead.
That's correct, my lord, and I believe I have solved the case.
Do you now? Well, then tell me, who murdered the general?
I believe we're to choose from either our notebook or the directory, Holmes.
As usual, Watson, your help is invaluable.
Your help is invaluable, Watson. All right, who murdered the general? We know who murdered the general. It was Philip Arnault.
A brilliantly logical deduction, Holmes.
Thank you, my lord.
Now tell us, Why was the general killed?
Why was the general killed? To get him out of the...
I like peanut butter, creamy peanut butter, chunky peanut butter too.
Ooh! Thanks for the peanut butter there, Necromancer. Hey, it's not BNU. John Quitsu and Hemlock Holmes, indeed. It was J. Rock Cooney. What's up, J. Rock Cooney? To get him out of the running for the Tontine prize money. Nope. It had nothing to do with Tontine prize money. To avenge the honor of Arno's sister Fleurette. It is that one. What are the other options? To prevent the publication of the revised edition of the Treasures of Congress. Nope. Had nothing to do with anything. Because of his marriage of convenience to Mary Fitch. Nope. It was all to avenge the honor of Arno's sister Fleurette. He blamed Arno blamed Armstead for his sister's death because he went and had an affair with her, got her pregnant, and then just abandoned her. So I'd be angry too.
Now tell me, gentlemen, what was the general trying to say when he turned around the figure of Napoleon?
Right. I was starting to make this point. Hey! Another raid during a pivotal moment. It's Songbirder. Hello, Songbirder. How are you? I hope you had a good night. Songbirder, thank you so much for the raid and welcome in, Raiders. I am Zophar, founder of the Annihilation Archives, Zophar's Domain. We're playing Sherlock Holmes, Consulting Detective Volume 1 for the Sega CD. You should all follow Songbirder, who is a great speedrunner, who is a great retro streamer, who also has streams about songbirds. And songbirds are awesome, by the way. What were you playing tonight, Songbirder? Were you doing some more Faxanadu runs? Were you watching birds? Were you playing something totally different? And here's a cool little clip of you indeed watching a bird of song. We're about to hopefully beat Sherlock Holmes Volume 1 right now. Ah, Crystallis. Very nice. A little casual action. Sometimes you just got to have that nice little casual stream. We've been trying to solve the murder, the case of the Tin Soldier. And I believe we have solved it. We have solved it. That is Philip Arnaud. And he did it in a honor killing type situation. But regarding the backwards figure of Napoleon, I think that Armstead was trying to say who murdered him. Napoleon. You get it? Because Napoleon was played by Philip Arnaud. So he turned around the figure. That's probably why he was leaned up against the case. Before he died, he was just trying to point out his murderer by saying it was Napoleon. You get it? Indeed it is, Rank of Sal. So the options are, he wasn't trying to say anything. The figure was turned accidentally during the struggle. But you should all follow Songbird. You'll have a lot of fun over there. It wasn't that. Warlike murder is an exercise in futility. Nope, wasn't that. The sword that killed him was identical to the one Napoleon carried at Waterloo. Nope, wasn't that. His murderer was the actor who was playing Napoleon, Philip Arnaud. Yep.
Rather clever of the old boy now, wasn't it?
Indubitably. A man who keeps his wits about him to the last has my undying admiration.
Indeed.
I was wondering, just for the record, could you tell us what the general used to call his wife?
So for the record, what did the general used to call his wife? Rich Fitch. Old money bags. My Fleurette. No, it's Horseface. Fortunately.
Congratulations, gentlemen. This was a difficult case.
On the contrary, my lord, it was elementary.
It was elementary.
That's what you think. Nonetheless, the good people of London are forever in your debt. We thank you.
My pleasure, my lord.
What's up, Not Too Tired? 1992, actually, if you're talking about this game. Oof.
My word, dear Holmes. Perhaps we are in the wrong business altogether. If we had been top-notch, we should have cracked this case in 26 points. I think I will ring up the university immediately and see if we might enroll in a detective course.
We just may need to. We just may need to. The most critical information. Horseface! Yeah, Philip Arnaud was... not Philip Arnaud. General Farnsworth Armstead? Farnsworth Armstead or whatever? Was a giant douche, apparently, in his years alive. But okay, let's go check out Sherlock Holmes' solution. Let's watch.
You say you've come up with a solution, and yet you sit there calmly cleaning your meerschaum. Please, Holmes, tell me what you've uncovered.
Tell us.
Of course, Watson. It's quite simple, really. The most intriguing fact about this murder was the method. Mr. Sennet's report that he heard the distinct sound of swordplay struck me as most odd. It suggested an affair of honor. At General Armstead's home, my suspicions were confirmed. The old letter addressed to Captain Armstead, a rank he'd held some 40 years ago, suggested that it must have concerned something from the past. Something that was clearly upsetting to him. That was the reason for the duel.
But how can you be so sure there was a duel?
Simple reasoning, my dear Watson. The general had time to place his chair against the wall, climb upon it, and retrieve a saber. The murderer allowed him to arm himself. A duel is the only event that fits with the facts.
Are you sure the caller carried a sword? I thought all he had with him was a carpet bag and a cane.
Perhaps it only appeared to be a cane.
Ah, yes.
The intruder was described as an old man, yet he left the premises over an 8-foot wall. Clearly he was in disguise and carried off the ruse with enough expertise to completely fool the general's manservant. The carpet bag must have been used as the receptacle of the disguise when it was no longer needed.
Positively clever of you, Holmes. But what made you think it was Arnaud?
Well, since we were looking for someone adept at the art of disguise, Gerard's mention of the actor Philippe Arnaud struck a chord. Also, Arnaud plays Napoleon. No small coincidence.
What are you getting at, Holmes?
When the general turned round at the figure of Napoleon, he was trying to tell us that his murderer was Napoleon. Or rather, the actor playing Napoleon, Philippe Arnaud.
So Arnaud killed the general to avenge his long-dead sister's honor. Ah, yeah. Unlike most of our cases, this motive was closer to the heart than to the pocketbook.
Quite so, Watson. When Arnaud's sister Fleurette was an impressionable young girl, she fell madly in love with the dashing English captain. When he left, she took her own life.
So pathetic.
Wait, there's more. Fleurette's grief-stricken mother went mad and was sent into an asylum. Thus, in the twinkling of an eye, little Philippe Arnaud, who was but a child himself, lost both his mother and his sister.
So sad. I'm sure he was too young to understand the circumstances that caused it.
Yes, but 4 decades later it all became clear when he found a letter written by his sister. It yielded an explanation and a name. Armstead. He came to London armed with that letter and a sword cane.
But he was here for several weeks before he did the deed.
Yes, and he might not have done it at all had it not been for the news of his mother's death. That was the final blow. He went straight away to the general's home to take his revenge. Voila.
Positively brilliant, Holmes. How do you do it?
This pipe cleaner, of course.
Elementary. So there you go. We cracked the case. The case. And that is Sherlock Holmes, Consulting Detective, Volume 1. We beat the Mummy's Curse 2 weeks ago, the Mystified Murderess last week, and the Tin Soldier tonight. Insulting Detective. I feel like B&U would say something like that, but you, sir, are not B&U. But that all being said, chat, I hope you enjoyed Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, but I'm afraid that means that's the night.